Hi guys, so today I just wanted to take a quick look at some earpads for the Astro A50 Gen 5s. I've been using them for a couple of weeks now and I've got some thoughts on the stock pads versus the Wicked cushions and the new Wicked cushions, the StealthZ, made in collaboration with them and Joe from GadgetryTech. So what I found so far is with the stock pads, they're extremely comfortable. They're very, very soft. It's not memory foam, it's just foam, and they're a nice soft fabric, and they're really comfortable, but they're very leaky, which gives them the nice airy feeling. Your head doesn't get hot with the stock pads on. The downside of this is that my aircon that's behind me is really intrusive when I've got them on. What I normally do with most headsets is buy the Wicked Cushions freeze pads. I use them for almost every headset that I've got, and they're lovely and cool when you put them on. They don't stay cool for that long, but they generally, your head doesn't usually get that hot with them on. They create a reasonable seal. So with these on, they were okay, but the opening on the inside was just that little bit too small. So my ear touches mostly the top and bottom. So what I've been doing is I've been using the stock pads rather than the freeze pads, which I didn't think I would end up doing. But I've still been looking for some better ear pads, something with a bit of a bigger inner diameter. It was only last week that I saw that Joe from GadgetryTech, if you haven't seen his channel, definitely go and have a look. He's really good. He has been, it's taken a while, but he's been working with Wicked Cushions to make some pads that he thinks suit the Astro A50s better. And so here we are. As soon as I saw them, I thought I'm going to go on Amazon. They're actually cheaper than the freeze pads. So yeah, it came out about £23, I think it was. There was a 15% off voucher to use when I went and looked. So they turned up and they are quite a lot better. They're kind of in between the freeze pads and the stock cushions, because these have got lovely memory foam. Now let me just show you how plush each of the pads are. So these are the stock pads. Now if I can get the camera to focus, see how quick they bounce back. They're just regular foam, and from what I've read online, these do slowly start to collapse over time, the stock pads. These are the Wicked Cushions Freeze. And as you can see, they're quite nice and plush. And they're firmer as well, so they're not likely to collapse over time. So yeah, very very well made as always, and they seal the sound in really good. And then these are the StealthZ or StealthZ pads. See, they're a lovely plush, soft memory foam. Slightly firmer than the stock pads. I can't see these collapsing over time. They feel really nicely made. The fabric is a really, really soft velour material. It feels really nice to the touch on your ear. Now for pad dimensions, I'm going to use my cheat sheet. Stock pads, their height is 50mm, width is 37mm, and thickness is 20mm. The freeze pads are 50mm the same in height, 46mm wide, so a fair bit wider than stock. Thickness is around the same at 20mm. I've been measuring the thickness on the top of the pad. The StealthZ pads are 52mm high, so a tiny bit taller, and they're 46mm wide, so about the same as the freeze pads, and 22mm thick. And so there's just that little bit more room. I can still feel the back of my ears just very slightly touching the pads, but it doesn't bother me at all. They're really nice. Now for sound isolation, I'd say the stock pads, if you're gaming, playing a shooter or something, and you've got your PC next to you, you're going to hear the fans. And if you've got an aircon, you're really going to hear the aircon. these are somewhere in between the freeze pads and the stock pads. They're still breathable, but they have a little bit more sound isolation, and it's just right. Aircon isn't too loud when I've got these on, so these are the pads that I like the best personally. Now, when you change pads, it changes the sound quite a lot. It has quite a big impact on sound, and bass is much heavier, much more full with the freeze pads because they seal better. But when you EQ these, they respond really well to EQ. So what I'll do is rather than me go through explaining how each of them affect the sound, I'll put a link to Joe from GadgetryTech's video on these pads, and he gets his graphs up and goes into detail, and it'll give you some EQs to use, but depending on which pad that you're using. So I'll also put some generic Amazon links in the description in case you want to look at these or the freeze pads. But yeah, I highly recommend these. They're absolutely they feel really nice on the skin, the material, and I think these are the best compromise between sound isolation and breathability. So they're the pads I was looking for, basically. So that's it. I just wanted to share that with you, and I shall see you soon. See you.